Braxis Hollow, map number 1. We are in the losers bracket final of Group A at the Underdog Cup. So, we got No Vision against Low APM, the battle in the best of 3 series to see which team makes it. Draft rule, as usual, every hero can only be played once. And a quick reminder that this is actually shedding a spotlight more on the amateur scene. So, we have teams that play in Division 2 up to Division 5 that are participating in this event. 16 teams in total, so really a lot of participation. One of the best things about the amateur scene, the passion for having a bit of a competition here. And yeah, all the teams are super happy that they can actually, like, you know, play in a proper tournament, and it's just awesome. I really like it. We get fast games, fast map decisions, and it's good stuff here. Now, one of the important things to note as well is that both of the teams that are competing here are in Division 2. So as we are now moving, you know, deeper and deeper into the groups, and then we'll eventually reach also the playoffs, the teams obviously get stronger and stronger. I mean, this is the reason why you go for a tournament bracket, right? Like, that's the whole idea behind it, that you have the strong team meet toward the end, and that's exactly the case here. So Division 2 against Division 2 should be a pretty even battle between the two of them. And when we are talking about the early bans, Whitemane and Sylvanas are getting targeted. As a quick reminder, obviously you have smaller hero pools here, and you will see a lot of bans and a lot of picks that not necessarily reflect the meta that you would see when the top teams play in a 2,000–3,000 euro tournament. So the Whitemane ban, for example, is already just like a targeted ban against the other team, where they know, hey, they like to play Whitemane, there's a preference pick for them, so let's just get rid of them right away. It's also kind of funny, they joked about it a bit in the lobby, but we have now Mr. M going up against Mr. X. So if you paid attention previously in the games, you saw that we have the two of them in different teams, and now just as the bracket unfolds, we have the two of them facing off against each other. So yeah, the shadowy figures in the background, you know, that are really pulling the strings here, now having to try and see what they can actually do with their respective teams. Junkrat as a first pick for Braxis Holdout. We have Maiev and Malfurion for Team No Vision. And just the fact alone that we have Braxis as a map is already kind of funny. Vala, okay. Vala's actually going to be interesting here. I'm a little bit curious as to what kind of build we're getting with this, considering that this is on the amateur side, where you oftentimes get different builds being played, and where heroes are oftentimes just like played in a slightly different role. So seeing Vala here, we could see pretty much anything, honestly, when it comes to builds. Like, you can make an argument for every single build that she has, depending on how low APM wants to play it. Mirroring gets banned, another hero that can obviously traverse terrain fairly easily with a quick jump. They themselves apparently don't want to pick him, so they ban him out. No side lane has taken yet, so we'll have to see what they're picking for the top lane. The Haka banned, but we could still see even, again, Rexa. We have seen a bit more now on Dragonshire 2, and another map where he normally excelled is Braxis. Chromie gets banned, okay. And, well, let's see what No Vision is aiming for here. What are they going to grab next? What are we going to get as their main tank, and what's going to be the side lane? Also, Mage, I would have still expected to see Khaldor, just to name one example. Fantastic with the wave clear that he has if your opponent, for example, takes the objective. But they go Suljin. We get Suljin again. Yeah, I've seen that before. So, Suljin is in. Jojo, there's a lot of your wave clear right there. Yeah, that leaves us only with them needing a side lane. They went into a triple front line with a pick on Maiev. That's already given. So, the side lane for the top will be a reaction to whatever low APM is now going to pick. And they also still need a main tank, of course, for the team. And they go Varian plus Chen. Okay, Fat Illidan is in the house. He's going to jump in. He's going to kick it up at the top lane. Okay. Color me intrigued. I want to see what they can pull off here. Clearly a few preference picks for low APM already. And how is No Vision going to deal with it? Their Suljin pick, by the way, of course, too. So, which team is going to take the lead in this best of 3 series? We're going to find out on Braxis Holdout. Low APM going up with No Vision as the blue team. Takes GAZLOWE for the top lane. Alright. It's getting wild in game number 1. Let's go.
Facility powered.
No vision. Yeah, they went for it. Over on the left side, we have them with Walking Bad on Maiev. We're getting Mr. M on Suljin, Wurst Willi on Malfurion, and then Lutic on the Gazlord. Oh yeah, give him the clamps. Let's go. The Tinker is in the house. Horosh on Johanna, as over on the right side. We get Birshu on Vala with the arrow build. Mr. X is playing Brightwing. We got Zaxi on Junkrat. Gumis is playing Varian, the front line for the team. And then, of course, on the side lane, facing off against GAZLOWE, we have Hammerin on Chen. So, yeah, this should be a spicy one for sure. As the teams start to collide down at the bottom of the map in the 4v4. GAZLOWE and Suljin in the same game. Yeah. They're going full green here. Uh-oh. For a second, it looked like that might be a kill. Jojo is moving out, waited for the engage against Garrosh. And Vala is, of course, starting to stack her level 1 a little bit. That's going to be a wild one. Level 1, we get the rocket boots for GAZLOWE. We would normally see here. I mean, we had a couple of GAZLOWE games also in the Murky Cup. Not too many, I think 1 or 2. But, yeah. It's going to be a wild first game in the best of 3 series here. For sure. Now, Suljin is obviously going to try and stack this up as well. Vala is going to be looking for stacks here. Don't really have any doubt in my mind that Varian is going to complete his eventually, but it's not nearly as impactful as the other two. Good tether into the Malfurion roots. Not enough damage as a follow-up to get an early kill or anything, but still. And lots of grenades straight into the face of Suljin. To be honest, it doesn't hurt him too much. That is already a visage that is totally ruined. I mean, whoever his dentist is needs to be fired, because that's a face that only a mother can love. Not with those teeth. So the grenades, if anything, are going to cause a bit of an improvement. If you take those two out, then maybe, you know, he can put a smile on that face. But as is, that's just not the case. Now they're trying to go for Varian, and they get the root follow-up on the tether again, which was pretty awesome. But Suljin gets crushed, and he's not the only one. There's the second kill. Low APM came in and just dropped them. Yep, that's 2 heroes down on the blue team side. GAZLOWE is going full Martian on us up at the top lane as he faces off against Chen here. But we have now double beacon control for low APM, and they are getting a very significant lead here, and they might even walk away with the first objective, given how things are going. It seems not... I don't think that at the top lane anybody is going to be able to claim this, and instead of setting a second hero towards the top and playing that ring around the rosy game that we oftentimes see, they are trying to force the aggression at the bottom, lose Maiev in the process, which means that they don't have enough heroes to contest that beacon. It's an objective for low APM. We're 2.5 minutes into the game, and that's 100% 2-0 for the red team. So they grab it, we get the pity percentage points for no vision, and they lose Jojo. There's the big Zerg wave at the bottom of the map, and they just keep losing heroes here. It's an absolute disaster right now for no vision. That early game is snowballing heavily, and it's snowballing fast. We have 10 stacks for Vala, which is another massive advantage right now for low APM. And the taunts that we're seeing from Varian are just too much to handle. GAZLOWE came down to help them defend, which means that Chen is now all alone up at the top lane and can push for structures. So big damage done, but the fort at least still standing. Not a good opening though for no vision. Chen is destroying the top lane. Doesn't get too much damage on that fort, so that was a solid rotation from GAZLOWE. But damn, that was not a great start for the blue team. Not in the slightest. So right now, when you look at the damage numbers, we have 14,000 already for Vala, 11,000 for Suljin. But Vala's stacks are something that could become a very, very quick concern here. She's doing okay. She's doing pretty alright. 13 has the repeating arrow, of course. And now they're taking the camp out. They're going to get a level 7 talent a little bit faster. Can they build on this? Because right now, yep, there comes the quick hits against Walking Bad. And, well, we get Hot Pursuit. I mean, the logic here is clearly that they want to go with an arrow build to make sure that they get, you know, damage in on the beacon fights, that they can just use Vala as a huge damage tool here, but with level 7 they don't want to go for a Monster Hunter because it would only be useful against the boss, maybe against the wave as well and the camps, and they're more worried about the teamfight potential. So what Vala goes for instead is Hot Pursuit, so that she gets a little bit more movement speed and has an easier time moving in and out of a fight. More utility for them, and well, we'll see how useful that's going to be for her. For now at least, they are going to be able to utilize her a little bit more to just move in and out of the battles. Misses one, hits the second arrow. So sitting at 16 stacks now. On level 7 we also have the Steed Charge now for Jojo. The beacons are up again, and with GAZLOWE down at the bottom of the map, he will have to rotate upside quickly because Chen is already getting in free damage on that wall and somebody needs to deal with it. So GAZLOWE having to go back down to the bot lane is definitely not helping their case. Another quick double attack. Big damage against Maiev. Stacks for Vala as she's sitting at 18. And here comes the beacon. Can Chen control the top beacon? That's the question, because down here the red team is in full control of beacon number 1. The taunt! The big hits against Jojo. Arrows galore here from Vala as she just dances around them, circles. We have 20 stacks for her now, doing well, and it's the same picture as we've seen before. They need to hearth, they're losing ground. The beacon control already taken by low APM as they're dominating the objective, and on top of that they're also pushing for the bottom fort, and they will take this one for free. It's not only that they're grabbing another huge objective, nope, they're also getting the bot lane fort destroyed. Now they can focus their attention towards the top lane. That's exactly where they're already headed. So they're looking at an absolute fantastic position. Level 10 should drop into their hands together with this push, which means that they can just accelerate this even further. I mean, they should be able to break through this with ease right now. And they will. So this is going to hurt, and it's going to hurt a lot. The red team is trying to defend as best as they can. Vala with Strafe. Yep, we get the Riptire. And they're going for the Keck play against Suljin, who's isolated and up at the top. They don't even care about him at this point. They will grab him eventually. Varian is already on the job together with Chen. They get the kill, and this is going to be the second fort that gets destroyed. Junkrat isn't here. He's down at the bottom of the map, is defending. But that is the structures all gone. More stacks for Vala, and they follow it up with another kill as Jojo dies. There's still no... I mean, they're 2 levels ahead right now. There's no chance for a level 10 at this point for No Vision. They're getting absolutely murdered. Low APM goes through them like hot butter through cheese, just slapping them around like crazy. And this is just disastrous. I mean, even the wall at the keep is falling. They can't get anywhere close to those Guardians. GAZLOWE is at the bottom of the map because they want to try and get some experience. They can at least defend with level 10 abilities, but it's just not the case here. Chen has his Keck back up. He can jump in and try and isolate somebody. He's doing exactly that as we speak. And now the keep is taking some damage. Vala is sitting at 33,000 damage. We have Suljin as the top damage dealer on the blue team side. Not only dead, but also only at 20,000 damage for the team. So with half a level missing until No Vision hits level 10, low APM is emboldened to move in further and try and take that keep out. And if not, then at least drop it low. And that's at a minimum what they're going to be able to do. The next minion wave is moving in. Then again, blue team is about to hit level 10. GAZLOWE is still trying to get experience and also get some structure damage in, but they're going to push for this. With the minion wave now coming in, why wouldn't they? They're going to try. Vala gets more hits in, and there it is, the kill and the RNG with the arrow. Working well for them. Level 10 is ready, but Maiev is still missing. GAZLOWE is coming in, the keep is gone, and with that they can move back, but they're actually fighting this out even further. They're sieging up here, allowing Vala to get more stacks, looking for more kills. The keg... Suljin made it out, and the team is slowly retreating. And 8 minutes into the game, we now have 30 stacks already for Vala. Suljin is sitting at 15. Vala is at 30 already. Boss, maybe a bit of a bold move if they're trying to go for it, and they decide against it. Because right now, it's still even talent. So if you want to go for the boss, you should at least make sure that you get a talent advantage over the opponent's team. But yeah, they are just absolutely crushing it. The blue team on the other side, they are of course now the ones that have to try and make a bit of a move. They only have one structure left. They only have a keep at the bot lane. That's all. Everything has been destroyed. And once that the next objective kicks in, this could become a disaster. Siphoning arrow is ready. push down at the bottom of the map as they are again looking for some attacks, and they get at least some arrow connects from Vala in, which is going to stack her up even further. She's capitalizing also on the movement speed and the utility that she gets from her level 7 talent, as we talked about earlier. Now the beacons are activating again, and without fountains towards the middle of the map, this is going to be real tricky. Real difficult. Now, Pikachu at the top. They're going to try for that beacon. Junker is at the bottom of the map. He might get a bit of a lead, but this time we have a mismatch when it comes to the numbers on the lane. So the blue team has realized that they can't go up against them in a 4-1 traditional split on the lane. So they're now trying to at least take this at the bottom of the map. And Varian can move in here. We have Chen up at the top. So they're just trying to play around this. They're jumping in on it. Chen is moving away. Down at the bottom of the map, it's already taken. They get an initial start of a couple of percentage points. But now Varian is moving towards the top. Will intercept Maiev for... Well, actually, he doesn't intercept Maiev. They're getting the channel. But Maiev is now traversing terrain to go down and take the bot channel instead. But the team is pushing. They're pushing and they're hoping to get a flank in. Varian, does he get the taunt? Blessed Shield is being used. Comes in. Taunt Suljin. Vala with another arrow and strafe. Riptire straight to the face. And that is the end of Suljin. Didn't pop his ult. Didn't use it. And is now dead and rethinks his life choices. They try to get maybe something done with the cage here. But it doesn't really look too great, honestly. For no vision. Again, the arrows. And now the end of Malfurion. Isolation play on Maiev. At least an attempted one. That didn't do anything. They got the objective that Chen can out channel, and they're going for the boss at the same time. They want to go for the final blow. They absolutely want to go for the final blow here. The objective is going to propel them forward. It's nearly a 3-level lead at this point for low APM. And yeah, 50,000 damage. Oh, that's a dead Maiev. Yep. Try to be a little bit sneaky here. Gets caught. Vala, Mr. X, with very good decision-making, by the way. Pikachu moved towards the left side and already thought that she would try to escape, predicted the path, saw that coming, and then just went for it. GAZLOWE is the only one that hasn't died yet on the blue team side. The only one that hasn't fallen yet is GAZLOWE. And now we have Boss plus Zerg Wave at the bottom of the map with level 16 talents as a big advantage for the red team. Vala with Manticore. They're going to break through that wall before the objective is even here, but this is going to push them straight towards the core. This is going to be absolutely disastrous. No Vision is going to try and fight this one out to somehow defend. I just don't see it. They need kills and they need them quickly because defending this is going to be tough enough as is. But they're 3 levels behind. They haven't gotten a single kill yet in this game. It's 12 kills to 0. 12 kills, 13 kills to 0 as they take GAZLOWE out. Now he died too. And the boss is going straight for the core. Maiev is gone. This is game. What a performance in game number 1 from low APM in this losers bracket final against No Vision. Very, very well played. GG. Nicely done. 15 kills to 0. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. The losers bracket final continues. Map number 2 is Aldrich Pass and low APM is in the lead. And boy, oh boy, did they wreck their opponents. 15 kills to 0 and a flawless victory in game number 1. No vision. They certainly had no vision for the first game. Now, there were a couple of things that actually surprised me a bit from the blue team. One was that when they realized that they were not winning the 4-man, they were not winning the 1v1 at the top lane. What you see from most teams when the objective is up is they're starting to split things a little bit. They're sending a hero towards the top, they're trying to take control of the beacon, maybe push a bit while they are losing then of course the other lane. But they just kept the lanes as is, and that led to 2 objectives initially for low APM, which gave them a lot of momentum of course. Doesn't change the fact that the red team also won every single team fight and just did exceptionally well, protecting not only their own heroes but also creating kill opportunities through the taunt with Varian. But I think that No Vision could have potentially, with a slightly different split after realizing that they're struggling on the lanes, delayed the objective a bit, buy themselves a bit more time, and then maybe create an opportunity to get kills themselves and momentum. Right now, of course, they somehow need to recover. I mean, they got their butt kicked so hard that they probably will have to play the next game standing. Like, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But the burns that they received in the first game are not gonna heal with a little bit of aloe vera. That's gonna take a long time here. Now, we got some draft rules. Of course, you cannot play the same heroes again, which means that now the GAZLOWE is not an option anymore. One of the best heroes in the game, now with a mark on his clean record sheet. So, yeah, GAZLOWE has lost, unfortunately. But we see Whitemane banned again, so they're clearly targeting the healer of No Vision. They're banning Whitemane, they're banning Lucio, trying to get rid of both of them. The map was chosen by No Vision, so the losing team decided that they want to now play on Aldrich Pass. Oh, and Chromie gets locked in immediately. Now with Aldrich Pass being the map, do we see a Nubarak? Is that something that they want to do here? A Nubarak has been highlighted in the past a lot as a tank that on Aldrich Pass gives you the chance to sneak in the objective if your opponent doesn't pay attention. In this case, that's not what we're getting. We have instead Garrosh plus Anduin. Okay. So, Garrosh and Anduin, lore accurate, get taken for No Vision. And after Chromie got taken, what are we getting as a setup? Is that going to be another combo where they're just trying to tee up with stuns targets for Chromie? We get Rhaegar for heals. Okay, so that also picks another healer away from the blue team. Not saying that there's not enough healers still available, but since they are clearly with bans, for example, targeting the healer of No Vision, it stands to reason that that maybe this plays a little bit into the same vein here. Now, Samuro as a side laner, that's already massively threatening, and they ban Abatha. They don't want to get cheesed. They don't want to end up with a double Samuro just going for structures all game long. And even Samuro with a Symbiote is, of course, a huge nuisance. So they're getting rid of the Slug. I would have liked that. Would have been fun to see the Slugger. Not sure if they were really thinking about it, if that was an option to begin with. But yeah. Tracer banned, which means that a Tracer Light Bomb engage is now not possible. Now, you could still go for Genji. So, if they want that, then Genji plus Anduin as a combo is available. And quite powerful too, obviously. I mean, that's the OG Light Bomb Swift Strike engage that we've seen from most teams as Anduin got introduced. So that's definitely something they could still do. Which lower PM apparently doesn't really fear too much. There's Genji, and together with him we also get Hanzo, so the Shimada brothers are once again united. Low APM must have seen that one coming. Tracer apparently worried them more. So they're fine with Genji. Let's see if they can deal with him. And also let's see what main tank they're going for. Is it Muradin, for example, just coming in with a Stormbolt to tee things up for Chromie? Or what else are they thinking about right now? Hogger and Tyrael. Okay. So not really a whole lot of stuns that can do anything for Chromie here. We could get a Shockwave, we could get Judgment. Rhaegar has slows, so there's a few tools. We'll see if it works out for them. Now, of course, final pick on Aldrich Pass, which is match point number 1 for low APM, as No Vision is trying to bring the series back. But, yep, final pick, we get D.Va. D.Va on the side lane. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Second map in this losers bracket final in Group A of the Underdog Cup. No Vision in game number 2 on the left side. With a vision for the game, I would assume we have some combos available to them now. We got Genji played by Walking Bat, who is going to synergize with Wurst Willy on Anduin. And you could technically also play with Garrosh played by Mr. M and some synergy from Lutiga on D.Va if you're throwing some of those explosions. So, could happen. We get Horosh and Hanzo to round out the draft for the blue team, as over on the right side, we now have Gumis on Tyrael, Zaxi on Chromie. We're getting Mr. X with Rhaegar, Hammering on Samuro, and Biechu is playing Hogger. So, let's go. Let's see what we are having here. We are, well, starting to check this one out. And, well, let's see what we're gonna get. I mean, at this point, we have in the middle just a little bit of a brawl going on. So that is the next thing. But just a little bit of poke is happening currently. And all the way up at the top, this is where Samuro is now going up against D.Va. So yeah, Hammerin is going up against Ludwig here. Walking Bad is starting to slowly move in with Genji and doing a little bit of work. Trying to see if he can maybe poke him down and capitalize on an engage, get a kill, get the gank going. But yeah, so far nothing. The one interesting thing, we talked a little bit about potential setups for the heroes that later on Chromie has an easier time getting her damage connected and stuns. I mentioned the Shockwave and also Judgment. And it honestly looks at this point like Judgment is a valid option for Teriel because he went straight into the Ardent Restoration. Yeah, down at the bottom of the map now. We got Anduin pretty much alone. It's gonna need a little bit of assistance. Anduin is not really known for his best wave clear, so yeah. And Hanzo is making his way back down to the bot lane. Actually, D.Va is boosting down as we speak. Camps taken on both sides now. And we have up at the top, Teriel currently doing his thing. A little bit of a slower start into the game, honestly. I mean, we're not having that much aggression from the two teams here. Makes perfect sense, especially on the side of... yeah, especially when we're talking, for example, about the blue team. They have to win this one. They have to force game number 3, or it's going to be an absolute disaster for them. Yeah, down at the bottom of the map. Hammerin is ready. There's the attack. And they can't get a kill on him, but yeah. Now, with level 4 talents, we get Divine Vigor. So, definitely looking at a way more damage-focused build that we're seeing from Teriel. We now have also Dragon Claw in. We're getting Thirst for Battle. A little bit of a flip. This is one of the good things, obviously, when you're playing Teriel right now against Garrosh. This is one of the heroes that doesn't really care all that much whether he gets flipped into the opponent's team or not. D.Va taken out, and oof. Looks like we got another kill. Okay, so Genji with a kill against Samuro. So a trade in... well, not really a trade in kills. The mech got lost, and then Samuro got killed. So the blue team definitely with a slight uptick here. Definitely much better start for them than in game number 1. Objective is up, and the teams have so far not really cared about it too much. Samuro with Way of the Wind, and then one with the Wind here. So, the talent names. I mean, seriously, like, if it's not bad fart jokes, then I don't know what Blizzard is going for with that, but it's definitely a windy story here for Samuro. He's going to be way more annoying as the game continues, and as he can just annoy the hell out of them, pushing for structures and... going down those lanes. They were, I guess, for a second thinking of maybe going for the objective here. But yeah, let's see. Right now, though, yeah, we got the hit over on the left side for the next camp. Both of them have it. And it seems like the red team is totally willing to go for the aggression, despite the fact that they're falling back in talents in just a moment. I'm a little bit surprised by the aggression here. They don't have level 7 talents, and they knew that that would be the case. They still think that they can win this fight. So, a bit over-eager if you ask me, but they're at least getting D.Va out of the mech. But yeah, kind of wild that they are the ones engaging when they're behind in experience. Trying to force the issue here. Now that they're falling back onto the lane, we're going to get them with level 7 talents. So, yes, here we are. Swift Retribution is in too. But No Vision has started to propel this forward a little bit and slowly do his thing. Now, Hogger is up at the top, but here comes Chromie with the interrupt. They're trying again. Hogger on the move, but there it is. The objective is slowly taken by No Vision. Now, are they actually gonna let that happen? It seems they are. They're not really fighting for this. Okay. Low APM. Finally starting to make a bit of a move. They got 8 seconds to potentially win a fight here. And somebody needs to start the channel, or this is not going to work out for them. But D.Va will attempt to interrupt it. Hanzo is gone, but the objective will be claimed by No Vision. The blue team takes it. Blue team takes the first objective. Now they're trying to go again for D.Va. Did Rhaegar just try to dodge the damage from his own Chromie? That just happened. Certainly looks like it. And Garrosh is taking out Samuro again, so that's the second time that he gets killed. That's an interesting one. Good for No Vision. They get the trade on kills. And low APM was able to grab that. Now, will that lead to them being able to turn the series around? That's the bigger question, of course. For now, we have them pushing with the first objective, which traditionally doesn't do as much damage and can be defended a bit easier, but normally breaks at least the wall down. We also have that leading experience for the blue team, which is going to help them to get level 10 just a little smidgen fast on their opponents. If that's still at the time where they can push, then hey, even better. Samuro now dying twice. The only one actually that died on the red team. So needs to redeem himself a little bit. 10 abilities soon going to be ready for no vision, and they want to use it to push for the bottom fort from the looks of it. Yeah, level 10 is in. The dragon for Genji goes for Dragon Blade. We obviously get Light Bomb, so he's going to engage with that. D.Va with the missiles, micro missiles. That's something that you don't see every day. There's Judgment, and we get Samuro with the Blade Storm. So, missile time for D.Va. Judgment time for Tyrael. Definitely is going to tee that up for Chromie. And we got the follow-up from the Shockwave. So if they can, again, do some work with that, then this is going to be pretty nice. I mean, right now, down at the bottom of the map, Samuro still needs to be a bit careful. You already died twice. You don't want to be the one that just dies non-stop on your team. They are dead even in experience. Dead even. And well, we get the timeout. Quest completed for Chromie. Damage output so far, 13,000 for Chromie, 18,000 for D.Va. She has the top numbers here. At 1v1. Samuro is all alone at the bottom of the map and is using it to start and get some damage in. Chromie, nice dodge. Beautiful timeout here. But then the arrow from Hanzo. Yep, that just teed it up and Chromie is gone. That was nicely done by the blue team. First, it was the engage with the light bomb. Chromie sees it coming, uses the timeout, but essentially all that she does with it is make herself a target for Hanzo. Now, I'm not sure how often this is going to work for the team, because eventually she's just going to play around with the duration to prevent that from happening. Samuro got good damage down at the bottom of the map and is able to move away. But these kills that we're getting for the blue team are actually pretty powerful here. Death timers are a bit low right now, but yeah, eventually, obviously, this is going to have more of an impact once that the death timers are rising. We still have Samuro down at the bottom of the map. Gets ganked up again, and yeah, their communication is a little bit off here. And Samuro is in trouble. He's trying to get away and might be able to barely escape, and does, but that also leaves the bottom fort completely exposed once that this minion wave is eliminated, and nobody's coming for it. We had Hogga take the camp in the middle, and the red team is pushing for the objective to try and see if they can maybe grab the next one. Yeah, as I said before, Tyrael gets flipped immediately, moves back, doesn't care about it whatsoever. Red team is creating a little bit of space for Samuro at the bottom of the map, and he is going to get structures. I'm honestly wondering if at this point they think that team fights are going to be a big problem for them, and that they just should just red Dota it and play around the opponent. Now we have the problem that, yeah, okay, Samuro gets away. Genji just is on him every time. But here comes the Shockwave, Judgment, and that was awkward. Chromie dies again. That Judgment looked a little bit iffy. I'm not quite even sure if he even took damage. He just still jumped out, so that interaction was kind of strange. Now it's a 5 versus 4 though, and the blue team could push for the objective again. Chromie dying so many times is a huge deal. They try to go for Rega. He uses the ult. Genji trying to get some value. So far not too much, and Tyrael is starting to jump out as well. With Samuro saying hello, he can get some extra damage in, but it started to become a real big problem here for Tyrael, who barely escaped. And the objective is actually again targeted by the blue team. It surprises me that nobody was there to attempt to interrupt. They were much more interested in potentially even getting kills. And now Samuro, for example, even with Chromie being back on the map, is down at the bottom, which is weird. It just feels like they are losing faith in those team fights. And Chromie, honestly, you can't just die the entire time like this. Chromie, Rega get both killed. That's 2 heroes now down on the red team side. A third one falls, and I don't really understand the strategy that we're getting from low APM. Samuro has taken a fort down at the bot lane, but what is that going to do for them? If they keep losing heroes the way that they do, then they are losing objectives, they're losing momentum, they're falling behind in experience, and it just feels like they don't have the confidence anymore in these 5-man fights. That's honestly what it looks like. They're just splitting heroes off, and they're just saying like, yeah, well, we can't win this anyways. That's at least what yeah. Probably wrong, but this is kind of the impression that you get when you just watch them here. So, yeah, bit strange. But then again, by now we have the attack on the fort in the middle, successfully destroying that one. No idea what that judgment is going to do. Totally different performance now from low APM. We had great synergy in game number 1. They were on point on this. They were really just synergizing their abilities. Ults and cooldowns were perfectly lined up. Now, very different story. That judgment maybe thought that with Samuro coming in from the top, they would be able to pull something off. But now we have at least the first objective eliminated in the middle. They're trying to take the one at the bottom, but the fort is already gone. Tyrael jumps out topside as we have the cavalry engaging. Samuro is moving up here as well. 16 is very, very close for no vision, but I have to admit that low APM, given everything that we've seen so far, is not too far behind in experience at least. They also saved their top fort, but if they want to win this game and this series with a 2-0, they have to do more faster. The arrow, this time missing, did not connect with Rhaegar. 16 talents are available. And no vision is doing pretty okay here. They still got the light bomb engage available if they want to use it. Could do that here. Samuro's coming in. They go for Hanzo and he gets murdered. Absolutely murdered. Tyrael essentially just flew over it. And now they get another kill. They get a triple. Now we're talking. It's a triple, baby. This looked a little bit more like the team that we saw on the previous map. And look how Tyrael actually flies over the target. He could have tried to target Hanzo to secure the kill. Didn't even care about that. They just went straight for the next target in the back, straight for Anduin. Now it's 8 kills to 5. They even have a lead in experience, and they go straight for the boss up at the top. So, low APM, they are a little bit back in this. But still, I have a lot more hopes now for No Vision after the early game that we saw here from them. This, on the other hand, is... yeah, they're even abandoning it. They're saying heroes moving down, and they're like, okay, boys, this is not gonna end well if we stay here. They were hoping that they could take that, but not happening. Tyrael double checks. They're not making a play for it. They see the objective coming up in 15 seconds. Okay, there we go. Are we? With the defenders at the top lane trying to deal with it, yes, they're going for the boss. They're going for the boss at the bottom of the map. They're trying to set the second one up. Topside fort will obviously be destroyed, and that's the second fort that falls on the blue team side. So technically, in structures, they're now even. This is kind of funny, by the way, that they're coming in to steal the camperway. So that's kind of neat. I suppose that they're going for the objective now. Damage output, we have 35,000 for Hogger, 39,000 for Diva. So they're starting with the channel here, or at least they should. But the camp is already taken. So the camp was already taken away. Objective is slowly being locked in. And there is still a boss at the bottom of the map. So it seems like No Vision is making the decision that they're going to let this one go through. Yeah, well, actually, no. They are letting this go and hit the wall. And the red team doesn't want to give them the fight from the looks of it. So now they go back to defend, at least with Hanzo. But the next channel is coming. They try and go for Garrosh, and he gets absolutely destroyed. Big arrow from Hanzo, but not enough. Doesn't lock them down into the explosion, for example. So while the boss still pushes, they are going again for the objective. They have a full level lead now and get closer to level 20. They could try and steal the camp away. Judgment comes out. They go for Hanzo again, and he gets pulled out by Anduin, but barely. And Genji also has to rush out, does just in time. Had some high hopes to try and take Tyrael down from the looks of it. But gets hit hard by the trap and has to move back. They didn't go for the objective though. They let that again fall. Couple of sloppy moves by low APM here. They are losing out on the objective. They have to recharge that, and Garrosh is now back. So a couple of weird mistakes that they're making, and nobody's channeling even. They had the chance here. Light bomb, they could go for Rhaegar. No, instead Genji is getting targeted. Is low and barely gets away. Same for Hanzo. Both of them are low. Oh my god, it's also true for Samuro, who somehow escapes. They're channeling the objective again, but they could have won this thing already a long time ago. The arrow is back in. Arrow is there. They're not interrupting these bloody footmen. I don't understand. You have an easy objective there. Low APM with some honest grief moments. The fight is still breaking out, but they could have won this twice. It's not a problem if they're grabbing it with a level 20 talent, but honestly, if they're losing the objective now to no vision here, that would be an absolute disaster. So, great fight earlier where they were able to win it. The double boss play, I love it. But they needed to focus on this objective a bit more than they did. They're getting kills now, though. They're really syncing up those tools that they have, especially with the Shockwave and Chromie's follow-up. It didn't work in the mid-game, but now that we're in the late game, they're really having a much better time with those plays. They were disastrous. Well, not disastrous. They were tricky earlier, but now they're starting to work out. Samuro dies again, but they're trading a kill. They're getting Anduin in the same play. So with level 20 talents on the board, they now have 4 versus 3 that they're running. 40 seconds on Anduin. I mean, the objective still has to travel the map, but there is the potential for damage. Hogger is in the mid lane, trying to push this out. This fort at the top, by the way, has been destroyed earlier. So how much they can do here, that is a good question. But Anduin will be back in 20 seconds. So in time for the defense. Hogger has executed this in the mid lane. With Samuro not being there, they will take a bit of a risk for sure. So, as is, we now have the upgrade for Angel of Justice. Unraveling is in. Hogger gets deleted. Absolutely deleted. And they have to move back. They're not going to get a lot out of the objective. They're going to get damage on the keep. They're not going to get the keep. They will destroy the fort in the middle. And I guess top lane, they won't be able to do too much either. Arrow, alright. Does not connect. I would love to say that they dodged it, but not intentionally. Yeah. So, all the way top side. Yeah, this one is destroying at least the wall and opens this up, but we have an even game on our hands. Very even game right now. 10 kills to 8, 20 to 21. Structurally, the blue team has a slight disadvantage. But not too much. So this one is taken. But with the boss up, they actually go for it. They risk this one. They see Samuro at the bottom of the map and they go for the top side boss. If Samuro stays here, he gets the keep. If Samuro stays at the bot lane, that's a keep for them. Seems like he wants to go for the camp, but top is about to be taken. They're claiming this. D.Va comes back for the defense. I guess he's not going to get that keep after all. Yeah, so I don't know what to think about those plays that we're seeing from low APM. A couple of great team fights where they just blow some heroes to Kingdom Come. And then in the next play, they are not engaging in fights and not double checking the boss. They're just letting the opponent take it. The objective that they could have prevented earlier. Very likely we're now seeing a double play from... Actually, is no vision going for the double play here? They could. Yeah, they're trying. Do they have the time though? Because the red team could now move down to the bottom of the map, and that is exactly what they're doing. Chromie is moving back too. Yeah, first of all, it gets slowed down here, but the tower is taking this. So it seems like this time they're not going to get it for free, if they get it at all. So Chromie is on their way. Tyrael is there. This could be a deciding moment in this game right now. Judgment on Anduin. They try to go for him. There's the shockwave, light bomb. And Garrosh is the first one to fall. Garrosh goes down. D.Va explosion. They just eat it. They eat the explosion. Rhaegar with a self-ancestral that didn't connect. It comes in too late. Genji gets the kill on Chromie. And Hogger's trying to spin. They kill Genji. And they take the objective. They kill D.Va. And they get the boss. The boss is taken. But what a scrappy fight. Seriously. What a scrappy battle. Rhaegar Ancestral too late. If Rhaegar gets the Ancestral there, they win it big time. Chromie doesn't die. Rhaegar doesn't die. That could have been massive for them. The judgment on Anduin as they want him again. Hanzo is trying with a stun, doesn't get it, and Anduin gets just pressured. 19 seconds until judgment is back. They're gonna get this keep for sure. I actually thought that they would either defend the mid lane or try and go for the objective. Their keep is gonna fall 100%. You're not gonna get more than that. But yes, the keep at the bottom of the map is gone now. So this was an interesting battle here. Too eager, no vision, trying to get that boss. But also the red team again could have played this a little bit crisper. 65,000 damage for Hogger, 70,000 damage for D.Va. The two side laners just running the show here. I really think if Rhaegar hits it, I don't think they go for core, but I think they get the objective too. And they're trying for it now. They're trying to get the objective right now. Samura's up at the top lane. He is still trying to just play this side laner game, where he pushes the lanes out a little bit. One armor shield removed from the core is not enough to seriously threaten anybody. Shockwave, and Garrosh says goodbye.
And we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Easy. Easy kill. 5 versus 4, that's the chance to go for the objective. And we're now 22 minutes into the game. If you lock in the objective right now, you're in a great spot. So, Genji starts to jump out here, taking the footman out. Can they get the channel? Hanzo will try to interrupt it. Magic missiles are kicking in. They go for Genji, push him around a little bit. Chromie gets the channel. Channel is there. Channel is there. Can they get it? They got the time. Judgment! Big hits against Hanzo! But he's able to get out. Chromie's fighting it out against the footman. Needs a little bit of an assist though. Garrosh will be back in time, but is he back in time to make it to the point and try and interrupt? I am not so sure. I really don't think so. Huge problem, by the way, for Garrosh is also that he went for Thirst for battle on level 4. That could have been a way different story if we had him with an ability to dodge out on some of the stuns that he's being exposed to over and over again. There's the stun and the kill on D.Va. Nice arrow from Hanzo, but not good enough. And the Ancestral came out. It actually didn't connect with Tyrael, who they were aiming for, and he also jumped away from the target. Now they're going for Genji, who wants the kills here, but Genji's in a little bit of trouble. If he can't get the kill, if he dies here, that would be a nightmare. They lost the objective again for just a second to the footman, but they will grab it, and that is the first objective for low APM. Genji dies as well, and that might be the final nail in the coffin. Them losing Genji now, being 2 heroes down, 5 versus 3, and the objective coming up in just a second. The Raiders, that is a problem. The topside keep has already taken so much damage, it is inevitable that it will fall. That's 2 armor shields removed, and then the pressure through the middle. This might just be the 2-0 for low APM here in the losers bracket final. Their topside keep is gone. They get judgment once again. They go for Anduin, and Wurstwilli dies. They're following it up with a kill on Hanzo. That just has to be it. That's game right here. It has to be. It simply has to be. The objective, the Raiders, they move in. And this is the end of Garrosh. 17 kills to 13. 30 kills in total. As low APM takes the victory in the best of 3 series, defeats No Vision, and claims the W in the losers bracket final of Group A. GG.